Happiness is not something ready made, it comes from your own actions. This is one of the most famous quote on happiness said by H.S. Dalai Lama ji. So, why it is the most famous quote? Because it all comes down to action. It all comes down to implement what we have learned, what we want to act on for our happiness. And this series, which we started last year, titled as Secrets of Happiness, we started this to create some ideas for which actions can be taken. So today I'm very happy we are back again with a new episode on this favorite series, and today you will be getting some more new ideas for some new actions. So let me welcome today's speaker for this episode. She is Dr. Jyoti Sharma ji. She is assistant professor with Chitkara School of Psychology and Counselling, as well as she is psychologist and mindfulness coach. So we are very fortunate that we have her with us to give her top few ideas based on her research for happiness. So let us quickly go to her and know what is the secret of her happiness. What are the top few ideas which we all can incorporate in our life to be more happy, more mindful. Welcome, ma'am. Welcome to this beautiful
Thank you so
episode.
much, sir.
And we all want to hear you. So please share your top few ideas by which we can lead this life more happy, more beautiful. Please.
You know, happiness has become such a construct in today's time, and I would like to imply this first that happiness depends on the individual and it varies from one person to another. It is basically an emotional state of individual, right? And it all depends. किसी के लिए वो joy है, किसी के लिए वो फ्रेंड है, किसी के लिए हैप्पी वाइब है, पॉजिटिव वाइब है, किसी के लिए कंटेंट फीलिंग है, किसी के लिए रिलैक्सेशन है, किसी के लिए पीस है. इट डिपेंड्स फ्रॉम पर्सन टू पर्सन. हाउएवर द हैप्पीनेस दैट वी बेसिकली सीक एट टाइम्स वी put it into the sphere of certain segments that only if I get peace I will be happy, only if I have my friends I will be happy, but they tend to forget that happiness is actually everything that makes you feel at ease, that brings
Beautiful.
you that peace, you know. Nowadays we are so much running behind so many things that ये मुझे खुशी देगा, वो मुझे खुशी देगा, but eventually हम फिर भी satisfied नहीं होते because we are so confused between what is satisfying us and what exactly is happiness for us. So I basically tell this to everyone who comes to me whenever I'm going and talking and interacting with people about the state of being, being mindful and what happiness is, what the true happiness and joy you feel or the content feeling that you can have. That is when you are able to balance both the doing mode and the being mode.
Beautiful.
Because every time we are into that juncture of मुझे ये करना है, मुझे वो करना है, ये भी करना है, वो भी चाहिए, वो भी चाहिए, ये भी चाहिए, करना है. We get so stuck up with that we are not able to find what and where we truly want to be. We have totally lost the sense of the purpose, and eventually without that purpose, how can we find happiness? Right? So I strongly believe that in order to have that happiness context in your spectrum, to have that content-wise, context-wise, and also to feel that, because it's an emotional state of joy, I believe knowing your purpose is very important one.
Beautiful.
When you have the purpose, you are able to foresee that I have something to look up to. Secondly, it motivates you. Thirdly, it increases so much of willpower that you have a joy to see I have something to look forward.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So, ma'am has given so far two beautiful points. The first is rather than only focusing on the doing mode, also focus on the being mode. So, in the day, we are doing a lot of stuff. Fix some time in the day where you are not doing anything, you are just having the time for being, sitting down, doing nothing. So that is the message, which is a Zen saying also, sit down and do nothing in the day. So she has reminded for that first very beautiful point. And second, she just shared that have a purpose. have a bigger purpose in your life, so that you look forward to start your day that today I will be doing this thing to meet that bigger purpose. So ma'am, any other 2 points which you feel which can add to this thought of being happy?
Yeah, so there are so many points. Matlab, I myself do shadow work, and I know how happiness can vary from one situation to another, and even in one moment to another. It's all about movements, right? So, another very important thing that I myself practice is gratitude.
Beautiful.
It's the biggest essence and the biggest vibration that you can feel. Even when the situation is not going up to the par of what you expect, what you want, it will drag you down emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically. Obviously, it will take you down, right? However, even in that, if you have this one pinch of essence that this is something that I did good, or oh, that person smiled, that would make your day. And even being grateful for that one small little movement, for us it's small, but internally when you just look at it, it's actually huge because it is so impactful. It can change your vibration like that. एक पल को आप मायूस हो, जैसे ही किसी ने मुस्कुराया, आपको कुछ अचीवमेंट फील हुई कि यार है कोई, you know. Apart from that, even if you're doing little bit of small and big tasks, you're grateful for that. You're grateful even for your hands working. It gives you such a high vibration. Apart from that, if you journal your happy memories,
Lovely.
it's very important, you know. We have छोटे छोटे memories. मान लो आप एक जगह से मेट्रो स्टेशन तक चले गए या रेलवे स्टेशन तक चले गए, and someone just tells you आप बहुत सुंदर लग रहे हो. Random person, you're getting a compliment, and that is increasing, and that is just creating that smile on your face जो आप घंटों तक वो एक मुस्कुराहट रहती है.
Lovely.
अगर वो मेमोरी हम लिख रहे हैं, हम लोग कहते हैं कि आप नेगेटिव चीज़ें लिखो और उसे फाड़ के फेंक दो, गुड, but what about the positive and happy memories? Because that is what is creating all that neural circuits within you. That also increases your neuroplasticity. So I believe journaling that and also feeling how it feels to be in that happy memory, because पुरानी यादें आती हैं लेकिन उसमें अच्छी यादें कितनी आती हैं.
Beautiful. So beautifully, ma'am has given us another 2 more points, and I just summarized that also for the audience. One, she has reminded us to be grateful, which we've already covered in the earlier episode, but I think it's a good revision, and she has given a new context to it. And the new context is because every day we, when we move around, we meet so many people who are, giving a beautiful smile to us. And in that moment, we can be grateful that we are so fortunate that, I am receiving so much of love and care around. I'm receiving so much of acceptance. So whenever somebody gives you a smile or somebody do anything for you, feel that gratefulness. And she has reminded us to be grateful. And the fourth point which she has raised is beautifully, that is journaling. That is very important, which we also use in our Chitkara happiness course, that always write, when you're ending your day specifically, write the top 3 good things of the day. Remind yourself what are the top 3 best things happened in my day, because it will fill you with that positivity. And when you will sleep with that positivity, you will, your happiness will enter into your subconscious mind, and you will wake up with a new energy and enthusiasm. So ma'am, I think
Before you end this, I would just add one last point.
Please.
Which I basically incorporate in all my practices and specifically to the students of psychology, and that is called grounding. Grounding.
Oh, beautiful.
It is like having a pause in between, not just physically but also having that mental and emotional pause.
Lovely.
Which can create all that scattered dust in your mind and just float it down, and it helps you to have clarity. I believe if we, who are not even from psychology, if we can bring that essence to everyone, it can just have so much of clear vision for every individual.
Beautiful. I think the fifth one has made me only grounded in this moment, more grounded. And I just paused for a moment when she was reminding me for that. So I think this is a very beautiful fifth point which she has given. In a day when a lot of things is happening, just pause for a moment and feel that a small break. You can watch your breath, or you can just go into your inner world for a while. I think very beautifully she has given us 5 beautiful points to be happy. So I request all the audience to please implement any of these points in your life, and whatever works for you, please write back to us, because it will inspire us to do this more work more happily and mindfully. So your feedback really matters to us. So do write to us what you are doing, how it is working for you, and what kind of topics you want this series to cover. And one last thing before we end this episode, that we have recently started a lot of new interventions at Chitkara Happiness Center, and this is the list of all of that. You can see while this video was on, we have specifically put this poster here, and a lot of new things. Skill development program we are starting. The skill verse program is coming up for all the students of Chitkara Happiness Center and of the Chitkara University. So just check out all these options. It's available on the website as well as on our Insta page. And at the end, again, I want to say a lot of thanks to you, ma'am, that you have come and
Thank you so
given
much,
these
sir.
beautiful new points. And let us all end this episode also with some quote. If you can you give some quote or any favorite quote which you want to make on happiness to end this episode?
Something that I always say around, and sometimes I say to myself also, it's okay not to be okay.
Lovely.
Because the beauty lies even in the shackled, shattered, broken pieces, because they are unique. And once they are joined together, they become the brightest and the unique of all, because they're antique.
Beautiful. So beautifully she said, it's okay not to be okay. So this is the quote where we are ending. So sometimes if you are not okay, just be okay with that not okay position also. Accept, and that acceptance will create that ground which will produce those flowers of happiness. So thank you very much for giving your love and lot of support to this series, and we'll look forward for more remarks from your end for this series, and we'll come up with the new episode very soon. Until then, don't forget to smile, keep smiling, and keep spreading happiness. Thank you very much.